Section 12 of Letters from New Zealand, 1857 to 1911, by Henry William Harper. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Beeswax Candle. Letter 12. Hokitika, June 1st, 1875. My dear St. John, things are changing here. Many have left for other fields in Australia, and the population, which once ran into tens of thousands, is rapidly diminishing. This seems to be the story of all goldfields, as the production of alluvial gold declines and the deep sinking or quartz mining takes its place. Capital is needed. Companies employ labour. Individual enterprise disappears, and for a time at any rate, the yield of gold is small. Moreover, this country of forest and soil, like the primary formations of Scotland or Wales, gives little promise of successful agriculture. Coal, which is found here of an excellent quality, and timber will in future be largely exploited, but at present they are only used for local needs. With this in view, the Bishop came to the conclusion that, as the pioneer work of the Church in Westland, to a great extent, had led to a well-established order of things, my services were needed in South Canterbury, where hitherto little beyond mission work has yet been attempted. He wishes therefore to remove me to Timaru, the centre of South Canterbury, a large agricultural and pastoral district, but at the same time to retain Westland under my supervision as Archdeacon. You will understand my reluctance to leave a place and people of such unique character as this. 9 years of experience that few can have had. A sphere of work that promised so little, yet has yielded such results. "Going there?" said an old missionary in London, who had heard a good deal of the wilderness of forest and Westland and its rainfall. "Take an old hand's advice. Don't be discouraged, and if it rains, let it rain."
"Have you any idea," said another, "of the sort of parishioners you'll find in a goldfield?"
And he insisted on presenting me with a pair of pocket pistols. Another expressed his opinion to a mutual friend that an Eton and Oxford man was not the sort for gold diggers. For some time after coming here, the problem was always haunting me how to influence such men as I had to deal with, and to lead them to higher things than the love of gold, adventure, and the joy of full-blooded strong life. Men of independent habits of life and thought, who had travelled, seen the big world, rough and ready for any enterprise, amongst them all sorts and conditions, meeting you with a sense of the common equality of manhood, so different to the inherited subserviency of men who labour with their hands in the old country. Was it right, as I often asked myself, to let the man come first and the parson second? I may have been wrong, but I found myself instinctively in that attitude. I am tempted to tell you something in illustration of this. Meeting a friend who had lately come by coach across the hills from Christchurch, he remarked that, on top of the coach, my name had been mentioned, and he thought I might like to hear what was said. Your character was freely discussed. "Do you know the Archdeacon? I hear him so well spoken of." "Yes," said another, "he's a good man, but I don't think he's a converted man." "Converted man?" said a miner. "I don't know much about your converted men. I take a man as I find him, and with us chaps the Archdeacon comes and goes as if he were one of us, and he's always welcome. What do you say of him?" addressing the driver. "Yes," he said, "I agree with you. I take a man as I find him. He's been with me often on the coach, helping me with the brakes, and in some tight places too. And when there's any trouble, I'd as soon have him with me as any man." This set me thinking. Perhaps it amounts to not much more than a natural aptitude for human fellowship which opens the door to men's hearts. Perhaps only that, without any further entrance to the inner sanctuary. And yet, now and then there is something by the way, a chance word of encouragement, such as met me not long ago from a visitor to Westland.
"I am glad to meet you. I've been here a short time, and am much interested in the place. I am no churchman, and not much of a churchgoer, but I believe in all that makes for bettering the world. How is it? I find that the church is a regular institution here. How do you manage it? How do you do it?"
It is this sort of message that makes me slow to leave a place, where, with all that has been left undone, and the best so imperfectly done, the work in God's good providence for which I was sent has prospered so well. Christchurch, October 20th. Now for my last few months in Westland, a very busy and somewhat trying time, occupied in visiting every church centre and taking farewell of the people and the congregations. This meant special services and social meetings, and the personal visitation of scores of families, business meetings with church wardens and vestries, so that everything connected with church finance should be in good order for my successor. It is a great satisfaction to me to be able to leave everything for him, so that he will have churches and buildings almost entirely free from debt, and parochial work well organised. All this business of farewell culminated in Hokitika. Special services in All Saints on my last Sunday, with a great gathering of school children, teachers and parents in the afternoon. Valuable gifts were presented by the day and Sunday school, an address from them, of which I am tempted to quote a few of its simple and touching words.
"We assure you we love our church and school, and shall never forget your kindliness and patience in teaching us the word of truth, and the happy hours you have spent with us in our amusements and pleasures." On Monday evening, the church was crowded for an informal service, followed by a farewell, every church in the district having sent a deputation from its congregation to present an address. Amongst them were 9 Maoris from the Church of St. Paul at Arahura, whose address in Maori was translated for those present by Mr. Greenwood, the native commissioner, as I give it. "Go forth in the ways of the gospel and in peace. Thou who wast called to take the oversight of the Pakehas and Maoris in Westland. Although thou art going afar off to another place, thou wilt not be forgotten by us. For thou hast gone in and out amongst us for so long, and now abideth faith, hope, and charity. But the greatest of these is charity." Then came the presentation of an illuminated address, containing signatures of the church officers of every church in the Archdeaconry, and amongst many words of kindest sympathy, some which I can never forget, such as, "Our deep sense of the value of your efforts for the religious education of our children. You have won the attachment of the young, the love of the poor, and the affection and respect of all." After the meeting, an adjournment was made to the town hall, which was crowded to the doors. The mayor of Hokitika was in the chair. An address from the citizens of Hokitika, and on behalf of the whole district of Westland, was presented, with especial reference to work done in the hospital and for the benevolent and literary societies. Together with these there was a large sum of money, part of it to be expended in silver plate. You can understand my difficulty in replying and bidding them goodbye. That night, as a very early start by coach in the morning was necessary, my choir boys came to the house to sleep on the floor as best they could, so as to be ready at 5 a.m. to convoy me and my luggage to the coach. There were many people in the street. A lovely spring morning, and as I got up onto the box seat, their farewell cheers startled the horses and set them off at a furious gallop. At the outskirts of the town, the driver steadied his team, and seeing a man running towards us by a side track through the trees, said, "I will pull them up. That's Bill. He wants to say goodbye. He couldn't be there last night." He came up, gripped my hand, and with scant breath said, "God be with you. I've been praying for you at the throne of grace." "He means that," was the driver's comment. I have been in Christchurch, resting and preparing for my new work in South Canterbury, probably quite unlike my past experience. "How do you feel about it?" said a friend. "You've had a great time of it over there," pointing to the mountain ranges. "Somehow," I replied, "as if the romance of life was past." I am yours ever, H.W.H. End of section 12.